Hello, everybody. Real quick, I'm going to chime in on this video. This is Jesse Lee Peterson on his show Fallen State, and he had some guy on here named China Mac. Now, I've never heard China Mac. I don't know who China Mac is. To be honest, I'm not really keeping up with the times, TV and all. So, um, but this is just a short video, but I do want to chime in on what is being said here. And, this is what I'm talking about for Black people. They have these virtue signaling, race baiting agents, um, if you want to call it that, um, that go around here and say these things to keep you in a victim state of mind. Now, you could choose for yourself to rise above this victim mentality by thinking for yourself. Okay, because at the end of the day, anything that have going on in your life, any depression you might feel, anything like that, this really comes from you. And people don't realize that it is up to you on an individual level to um, on whether you succeed or not and how successful you are in life, because it's all about how much energy you're putting into yourself, and also what kind of energy are you giving back out into the world. Okay, if you're walking around here giving away negative energy, and you're not being kind to people, or you're not thankful, you're not grateful, that type of stuff can come back to you in a negative way. It's just the laws of nature. Okay, so this is one thing that I think everybody needs to understand. Like, this isn't even about color. They although these people want to make this about color, you have to step back and realize that that is all a game. It's an illusion. It's not real. Okay, so that's one thing about this. So anyway, let's get into this video. I'm gonna chime in and definitely point out what this issue is and why Black people really need to stop listening to people like this guy China Mac or Sean King or um, Ava DuVernay. All these people, these are virtue signaling agents who want to keep Black people in their grievances. Okay, when I say grievances, we're talking about this racial issue, this like it, I think the race issue was dying down way before and then Obama came in and just ramped back up. So that's just my thought and a lot of other people's. But let's go on.
Do you believe racism exists?
Absolutely.
And where's your proof of that?
My proof?
Yes.
Um, when's the last time you stepped inside of a prison?
About a year or two.
Okay. Um, where? Where was this prison at?
Up north.
Where?
Up in I believe we were up in the Fresno area, somewhere over there.
You see how much he's tapping his foot? That's that anxiety in him. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's like, yo, you can be calm. What are you so nervous for?
How many Black people did you see?
A truckload. Everybody and their mama.
I think that's it.
Okay, first of all, you gotta ask yourself why is. I mean, I understand. Yeah, there's a lot of Black people in prison, but you also have to take into consideration, you guys, that the crime is being committed by people who only make up 13% of the population. They're committing half of the crime. Black men make up 7% of the the population, the Black population of that 13%. And I'm saying they're committing 50% of the crime. That's an insane amount of crime being committed by a very small group of people. It's like a drop in the bucket, and it's like that is really disproportionate. So yeah, I'm pretty sure prisons are going to be filled with people that are doing the crime, and we're not even talking about even the fact that there's repeat offenders. And so and the media definitely is done no service to the people by suppressing the facts on these crimes that are being committed. Also, the Black on white hate crimes that are being committed, they are not reporting them because this is a narrative that they have to push. The narrative is that Black people are being terrorized by white cops and white people everywhere, and so you got to be afraid to walk out your door. that's not the case. That's actually not happening. It's just not. Okay, but there are crimes, and just even in the last couple of weeks of black on white hate crime. I just read an article about a guy who raped this 20-year-old girl, beat her to like he beat her, kicked her, everything. This is just a couple days ago, and it was not reported. The New York Post wrote an article on it, and I had to hear about it from a YouTuber in Berlin. That is how much the media suppresses these stories because there's a narrative that they have to push. That's why they only show uh when it's like the white guy on the black guy shooting cop issue. That stuff is all for an agenda to push. Okay, they have to make you hate the cops and all of that stuff. And also, they want to get rid of the policing because these globalists want to take it over as well. That's another thing you have to keep in mind. So there's an agenda for everything that these people are doing is a tactic. You have to realize that this is an illusion. I said. So let's get back into this. Sorry.
I think that's every state.
Right.
I think that's a pure sign of racism to me.
That's your proof.
I think so.
Is your proof that blacks in prison? That's a proof of racism.
Yep.
Had they not done the crime, would they be doing the time?
Yeah, but it's bigger than the crime, my friend.
How is that?
It's bigger than the crime. See, that's the other thing too, is that nobody's calling out the crime. You have black people, these black thugs in the black community that are screwing over their own communities, robbing their own people. That's why, people want to move away from the black community. Black people want to move away from the black community to get away from this nonsense. There has to come to a point where if you're older and you have some common sense, this stuff has to be checked. It takes a village, right? So therefore, it has to be checked. Discipline. There needs to be some morality. The crime does matter because what's been going on is that really, the crimes committed by black folks, they're getting a slap on the wrist and being released. They're not even telling you guys this stuff. You guys think they're just getting locked up for no reason. No, some of them are getting a slap on the wrist. Matter of fact, I read a story about a judge who let this young kid go, and then the kid turned around and tried to rob the same judge that released him. So this is what I'm talking about. We have to realize that this stuff is going on. We have to be accountable. We have to start holding ourselves accountable. You need to hold yourself accountable. Your children need to be held accountable, and there needs to be. We need to bring back discipline and morality. That's what needs to happen.
Because it's all right. So, what I know about prison, and I have a lot of experience in prison. Prison is a business, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Okay. Prison should be.
So when prison is a business, somebody has to fill these prisons because money needs to be made, correct?
Right.
Right. So like if you have a pig farm and you run out of pigs, what the fuck is going on? You got to go find some pigs, correct?
Right.
Okay.
But what he's not saying is who is behind this business. Because from what I've read is that it wasn't just like Bill Clinton who passed the 1994 crime bill. Joe Biden, he drafted it. And it was the Congressional Black Caucus who also was behind pushing the 1994 crime bill. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? So when I say, there are people with the same skin color as you who are for your demise, who are race hustlers, and I'm talking about Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and people who get on CNN and cry like Angela Rye and, Mark Lamont Hill, these fake black wokey wokes, those folks, yeah, they're not woke, okay? They're keeping you asleep. They're awake, yeah, but their job is to keep you asleep because that's what they get paid to do. They get paid to keep you crying and whining and grieving and over stupid shit like race. Okay? You guys need to wake up to that too.
So when you have a prison and there's a fucking business, you have to find prisoners, correct?
Right.
Okay, hold on. Let me hold on. Let me finish. Don't you cut me off. Do not cut. Hold up. Don't ask me a question before I finish. Zip it. Listen, hold on. I'm not finished.
That is an emotional ass beta male. This is what y'all, this is what women do. This is what women do. I'm a woman, okay? I know an immature woman, okay? I this what I how I am right now. This has taken time, growth, experience, right? Okay, to get to a point where you're a little bit wiser. You know, this is what obtaining knowledge really is all about: is to not only educate yourself but to become more wise. That's why you shouldn't just stay stuck in one type of genre of literature or music or movies. I don't. I'm very eclectic when it comes to that stuff. I read all kinds of books. I read books from all over the world. I listen to music from all over the world. So I'm very eclectic when it comes to that. Anyway, this is a this he is the epitome of a beta male. This is not alpha at all. Okay, alphas, they think before they speak. Okay, alphas lead. Okay, and this comes from most of the time being raised by single mothers. Okay, um, that's just the reality of it. These single women, these single mothers, they are what their sons see. That usually isn't so with them. They have this attitude like, "Oh, woe is me," and they grow up with this victim mentality. They're not raised by men. One thing that I've learned in some cultures is that the sons only stay with the mothers until they're like 5 years old, and then from then on, they're with their fathers, learning to be a man. Okay, but to be up under the mother for all their life, nah.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
If they didn't
I'm
do
not.
the crime,
I
what they do
am
is
not.
crime.
I'm not.
Why can't you
I'm
answer the
not
question? We don't have much time.
finished. So let me finish, and
Make
then
it
we
a
won't do this.
make it a
Hold up, hold up,
short-
hold up.
make
Yep,
it a
yep,
short
zip, zip,
answer.
zip. Okay.
Who is this
So
guy?
what I'm saying is the prisons have to be filled, and somebody has to fill them. So if the white people, if there are people in position of this country, and the majority of the people are black, that's a sign of racism to me.
But, sir, a lot of these cities where the crime is and where these black people live are ran by black Democrat mayors. Okay? So here's the thing, all of this stuff can be fixed when one, black people educate themselves, two, educate themselves on the people that they are so ignorantly voting into these positions of power who are actually against them, and stop looking at them because they are black. That needs to stop. Or you can continue to be ignorant and keep voting them in and then keep being disenfranchised by the people who have the same skin color as you. But hey, I'm just throwing that out there. So yes, he doesn't realize that, you know, all of this has to change, and it has to start with the people. The people have to be the change they want to see. And if the people of these cities don't want to change, then they can just leave it as it is. But if they do want change, then they will do their duty as a citizen to vote, do their homework, and vote for the right people. Vote for what is important for you, what you feel is important for your family. Actually read the policies. Okay, that's one thing y'all are not doing. Y'all guys, you're voting because the media is telling you guys who to vote for, and they give you a celebrity to endorse these. Because it's your favorite celebrity, you're gonna vote for that person because, oh, Beyonce endorsed him. Let's do it. But what you're doing is that you're voting for stuff like open borders and illegal immigration, and that stuff it disenfranchises you. It leaves you without the jobs. It leaves you without the housing. They're about to raid all of these Section 8 housing because they've been giving it to illegals. And black people are living on the streets because of Democrats and rhino Republicans that are not really Republicans. They're fake Democrats. They're fake Republicans. They're Democrats perpetrating as Republicans. And they're going to get dealt with too. So you have to understand the game is being played. This is chess, not checkers. Okay.
So if they didn't do the crime, would they be doing the time?
How are the drugs brought into how are drugs, guns, and everything else brought into these areas? Why are this so
By the black Democrat mayors who allows it to come into these cities? Okay,
prevalent in these areas and it's not in other areas? That's a question because that immediately results in crime, into crime. Do you agree?
No.
You don't agree. You don't agree. You don't agree that if we populate drugs, if we make drugs accessible right here and guns accessible right here to these people that don't have shit, that's not gonna increase crime?
That's not racism.
Why not? How is that not racism?
Because it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Racism does not exist.
No, it was made up.
Lie. May I tell you why?
Amazing. Who is this guy? Like, what the hell? What the fuck am I at right now? What is this?
And so I grew up under the Jim Crow law. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
So
that's not racism?
On a plantation. I was born and raised on a plantation in Alabama.
Wow.
Not one time did anyone in my family pick up guns or take drugs or hate white people or blame anyone for their situation. And we grew up in a tin-roof home, outdoors bathroom. If that causes crime, why didn't I see it then?
Because maybe drugs wasn't made available.
No, it was around.
They were around.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and try to debate with you on what I believe.
Can't, fool. First of all,
a lot of people.
First of all, he shouldn't be debating with Jesse about this because first of all, you wouldn't even be able to relate to my Asian brother. Okay? So at the end of the day, this is what I'm talking about. You have people who don't even relate to this stuff, who are just virtue signaling and trying to make it seem like, oh, he's on the side of the injustice or the rights of whatever of blacks. Listen here, this is all a facade that this guy is putting on. He's really a bullshitter, and let's just keep it real. He's a freaking pawn for the left. Okay, and Jesse Lee, you know, he's very good at trolling these people. He does a very good job of trolling people on the left, and especially, you know, black men on the left, because there's a plethora of black liberal men that's we gotta do something about that. That's because you are the emotional ones. You are the ones who don't think clearly or with your conscience or anything like that. You just don't think with any logic. You are emotionally charged, but you get that from your mothers, I'm sure. So, like I said, because many black men were not raised with their fathers, okay, and being raised by single black women, it's like, and not all of them, just some of them. I mean, not all of them. Some of them are right, you know, but for the majority, yeah, they're raising their sons to be, you know, and then also too, black women are accepting stuff like, you know, homosexuality, and they're pushing this to, like, you know, or they're even homosexual themselves and bringing that around their sons, you know, that type of nonsense. So that stuff, we got to change all of that because, and you know, it's just insane. We got to build the family again. This stuff is crazy.
Well, out there, hey guys, everybody, I think a lot of people is gonna agree that drugs and guns is gonna and poverty is going to enhance criminal behavior. It's just gonna promote it, right? So now,
guess who's
what I'm telling you is, how can you come from the Jim Crow? How can you come from a plantation and not believe that there is racism? Like, is that
because you have people that think like Jesse, who thinks like Booker T. Washington, who thinks like Frederick Douglass. You know, they were not victims. Okay, they learned to read, free themselves from slavery. That's why Booker T was all about up from slavery. This is about the way you think. Okay, if you're walking around here and you're telling yourself that you cannot somehow, somebody that white people are somehow keeping you from being able to reach the moon and the stars, you are telling yourself a lie. That is something mental with you, okay? And you need to start brainwashing yourself basically with more positive messages. That's what I do. Honestly, it works. You got to store these messages in your subconscious. You know what I'm saying? Because these people put these subliminal messages. They are putting these trashy subliminal messages into your subconscious, and those messages you pick up faster than your conscious. Okay, so you're seeing all kinds of trash all day, every day is being stored in there, and you think you react and you think on these later on. They come up sometime later on, or you act on it later on. You just don't realize it. You know, it's all about the way you think. This is the power of the mind. Okay, you can do whatever it is you want to do. You don't need people like this guy or anybody else. These fake black folks telling you that you're struggling because of the white man and white privilege and all that shit is bullshit. It is. It is just something for them to say to keep you feeling like, oh, woe is me. I need to be patted on my back and I need a handout. No, you don't need a handout. You need to get up, get out, get something. Period.
That's like fucking retarded to me. I don't even understand that shit.
Because it doesn't exist. It's a made up lie by the children of the lie.
So you remind me of this officer that was in jail with me before. Like, he was an officer there.
Was he black?
And he was black, but he said that he wasn't black. He said he was actually French Canadian.
Oh. Yeah. So he really wasn't black?
No, he was black like you. He was black. I mean, are you black?
From a different country?
Are you black?
Was he from Ace of Space?
So, I mean,
but let me ask you this. If these people who take these drugs and commit these crimes and do anything, if they had character, if they were men and women of character, would they be doing that?
Would they be doing what?
Killing and using drugs and things like that.
Listen, let me tell you something.
You're not answering that question.
No, I'm about to tell you something right now. I'm about to answer it right now.
You're not answering my question.
I am about to. Have you ever seen a drug addict?
Yeah.
Okay. Drugs fuck people up. They turn people into different shit.
Right.
So
Jesse knows because Jesse's talked about his own issues with addictions. Jesse is not a non-sinner. You feel me? He doesn't claim like he's not. He don't ever talk like he's perfect. He actually talks about what he's gone through. And when people with experience have these type of experiences, they know from experience. So they're giving their advice from personal experience. Okay? So he's sitting over here asking Jesse, just saying, yeah, because Jesse knows. Jesse has talked about his addiction. Okay? That's just the truth.
You put drugs in the plate, it turns people into different people. Different fucking things start
with them before they take the drug that causes them to take drugs. What make them take
the same thing that's wrong with you, or the same thing that's wrong with me, or the same thing if they seen it all their lives, if they seen it, if they seen people using drugs all their lives, then it becomes normal.
My son grew up in New York. My son grew up in New York. He lived
Your son is one person.
He lived around
Your
people
son
that
is one person.
Take drugs.
Your son is one person.
People in his family on his mother's side who drank, who took drugs, who did all those things. He had friends going through school who did it. He never did it at all.
He's one person. That's one. How can you judge a whole nation of people,
because it's
a whole group of people by one person?
Because it just clearly goes to show that it is about choices. It is about the choices you make. It is about your choices at the end of the day. You have the right to choose to go left or right. You have the right to choose whether you're going to do this bad thing or if you're going to rob this person or you're not going to rob this person. You have a choice. And should you choose to do the immoral thing, then you're going to get the consequences of that immoral thing. Should you choose to do something that's right and good, and you know it's right and good, then that will come back to you, and it might not come back to you right away, but it will come back to you sometime down the line when you least expect it. You know? That's why I always do my best to try to I'm walking around with positive attitude and with a smile on my face, and if a homeless person needs some change and I have my last quarter in my wallet, I will give it kindly. Because I know that I will get blessed sometime later on. And trust me, I've been very blessed. Very blessed. I don't have a lot, but I'm blessed and I'm content and I'm happy. There's a difference. People who want it all and then want to do it in ways that are not good and trying to get what they want, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to get where you want because you're doing things negatively to try to get where you want. You see what I'm saying? Do you think drug dealers are going to end up being happy at the end? Hell no. You know why? Because they'll end up having nothing. They'll end up dead or in jail. That's not how you want to be. You know, it doesn't matter if you're making drug money and then you're giving it to the old lady down the street, or it doesn't matter that you're doing it because the way you're getting that money is still immoral. You see what I'm saying? How you do everything all plays in together. If you got that money in a moral way, even if you did do something good by giving it to that, it's still gonna come back to you because of the way you got it in the first place. You got it by poisoning other people. So that also plays in. You guys have to think about stuff like that.
And that's fucking retarded.
If a man or woman or child had man or woman of character, would they do drugs?
Yo, man, how you doing today?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Can you answer that? If they had character, if they were men and women of character.
I think I answered this like 30 times already, man. Like,
you didn't answer it, though.
You gonna keep on.
If they
you say you're black, you're slow. What did you say?
I'm black and slow, so it'll take me a little while. So
amazing.
If men and women of character, would they do drugs or kill others if they had character?
Explain of character. Explain that to me.
If they loved all people.
If they loved all people, would they take drugs?
Right.
I believe so.
You know, okay.
Okay, Dudo. He's a weirdo. But, you know, you guys gotta stop listening to guys like this, China Mac, and these virtue signaling black folks, like I said, or, you know, these race baiters like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. These people are fake frauds. You know, people like LeBron James, these athletes, these politicians like Maxine Waters, who doesn't give a damn about her own people because, you know, Skid Row in LA is full of black people. That's her district, okay? And yet she sits in her mansion outside of her district, you know, so she can look down on all her peasants, and black people are so ignorantly calling her Auntie Maxine, and, you know, calling Uncle Joe Biden. He don't give a dang about you. He gonna put you back in chains, okay? So, you know, go ahead and stay ignorant to this stuff, and you're not ever going to see change. But the sooner you educate yourselves, then the sooner you can start actually experiencing what the American dream is really all about. Stop letting these people try to kick you off your land too, telling you, you know, about these lies about, you know, slavery, and, you know, over exaggerating these stories. But I digress. That's another video for another day. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. If you like the video, like it. If you share it as well, if you liked it. Peace.